up everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing alright and welcome back to Tiny House Week. This is the 5th and final build for Tiny House Week and we're going to be building a tiny houseboat. I actually got this as a suggestion on my Instagram story a while ago. I did a poll because initially when I came up with the idea to build some tiny houses for a week, I were going to do 7 builds and like do it for a full week and everything. So I initially came up with 4 ideas, so the ones that I've done so far, and I just needed a couple of suggestions, like what did people want to see, and sometimes going to my Instagram story, putting a poll up is a good way of doing that. So I put a poll up, not a poll, a question box, that's what I mean, and I asked people for some tiny house suggestions, and my good friend Sim Saga actually suggested that I build a houseboat, so that's what we're doing today. I want to say as well that I got the how can I explain it? Basically, I spent about 3 hours planning how to do a houseboat. Initially, we started off in Solani, and then I think I tried building in Tartosa because there's like a little beach lot there near some water, I think. It weren't quite working there. And then I thought, the actual like overall vibe that I want for the house, it's not island living, it's not like My Wedding Stories, Tartosa, like it's not that sort of vibe. I wanted like fisherman boat or like a canal boat, like that type of, you know, nautical New England vibe, I guess, and Brindleton Bay is that. So, well, I think it's meant to be anyway, but either way, that's like the overall vibe that I wanted. So I thought I'm going to try and build it in Brindleton Bay, and I knew that there were these lots that are like near the water, and I thought if I could build like a pond there rather than trying to build it on actual water in game, maybe it could work. So I spent about 3 hours planning it all, trying to get it to look like a boat. I used a debug boat thingy, and the first one that I was using, it weren't like this, it was like a bit different. I wonder if I could show you a picture of it. I'll show you a picture of it. I was using that at first, but it just weren't looking right. Like I just couldn't get it to work. I had a lot of messing about with it. So eventually I thought, I'm just going to look on YouTube to see if there's any like tutorials on how to build like the overall shell. And I found this video by somebody called Cozy Build. It was a stop motion video, so it wasn't like a tutorial on how to do it. But I watched like the first sort of few minutes of that, like a couple minutes of it, and I thought, right, I know what I'm doing now. So definitely recommend you go and watch their video. I think they've done another houseboat build as well. I didn't have like a full look at the channel, I literally watched one video, and then there was a suggested one that had like a thumbnail for a boat. But yeah, without them I don't think I would have been able to pull it off because I was getting really stressed out. So thank you to them for posting that video, and they posted it like a few days ago as well, so like that all worked out because I got the suggestion to do a houseboat ages ago, and yeah, they posted that recently. So yeah, thank you to them. The overall shell and like how the boat looks on the exterior, like what to make it look like a boat, I got that from them, so thank you. But yeah, that was the overall like vibe I wanted, like a fisherman boat. I wanted it to look quite rustic and kind of, I wanted it to look a little bit like a canal boat, but the lot isn't quite big enough to make that look right. I do eventually want to build a canal boat. You know those like long, are they called a canal boat? What are they even called? It's a long boat. Anyway, I've said boat too many times, I want to stop saying it. But yeah, that's the overall like vibe that I wanted for the house. And it is a tiny house. It's a tier 3 tiny house. And for the packs, I used Seasons, Cats and Dogs, and I also used Parenthood because I wanted to use the Parenthood counters. None of the other counters were really like suiting the like feel of the build. I were tempted to use Cottage Living, but I thought I'll go with Parenthood because if I use Cottage Living, then I'm going to end up changing the entire interior to suit the Cottage Living counters. So I went with Parenthood. And was there another pack that I used? There might be. The full details will be in the description. I always make sure that the description matches what packs I used. It also has space for 2 Sims. It's only got like 1 bedroom technically and 1 bathroom, but it's bunk beds, so 2 Sims can like live here. If you want your Sims to woohoo, then you're probably just gonna have to put a bush down somewhere. Sorry about that. Can Sims woohoo in the shower in The Sims 4? I can't remember. I feel like they can with university. Did that come with university? I feel like that's a thing. Maybe it's not. I don't remember. But either way, if you want your Sims to woohoo, then maybe you'll have to just go somewhere else for it because they're in space. I will say that this is the most stressful build that I've probably ever done. I think just because like getting it all to work and getting it to look right, and I went back and forth so many times with like the colour scheme, and yeah, but I'm glad how it turned out. I'm happy with how it turned out. It kind of matched the image that I had in my head, which I've talked about before on my channel, where the thing that you have in your head, like the plan for the build, doesn't always like fit what the game's capable of and what you actually end up with. But in this case, I think it worked out all right. But yeah, moving on to the interior. I kind of wanted for the interior, because I don't know what a houseboat looks like on the inside, I kind of went for like a caravan vibe. So if you've ever been in like a static caravan, you know, they're quite big, aren't they, like compared to the ones that are like mobile. They tend to all have the same sort of like layout and stuff, obviously depending on size, because some static caravans are like bigger than others, but the ones that I've ever been in, they all tend to have like the same sort of layout and like style, if that makes sense. So that's kind of the thing that I was going for with the interior of this one. Even though it's not a caravan and it is a houseboat, that was just the idea that I had and what I wanted to go with. So my main holidays that I've ever been on in my life, in fact the only holidays I've ever been on in my life, is going to a caravan, which I love going to caravan. I actually built a caravan ages ago. It was one of the first builds I ever did and posted to gallery. I never did a video on it or like that. I just built it when I like got back into playing Sims 4. And yeah, I built a caravan based on some that I'd seen when we went on holiday. But anyway, yeah, I wanted the interior to be like kind of a caravan vibe. So you've got like your kitchen at one end, then you've got like a living space, and yeah, that's the kind of like feel that I wanted on the interior. I don't think I really pulled off the caravan vibe, because in a lot of caravans in the UK, or at least just in static caravans in general, maybe this isn't just UK like focused, maybe all caravans are like this, but most caravans that I've been in, they have the settee, they have like 2 settees near this big window at like the front, and then they'll have like a coffee table, and then like the settees go all the way around. I'll put up a picture, because if you're not from the UK or if you've never been in a caravan, I don't know why I'm saying it's a UK thing. I'm pretty sure caravans are not just exclusive to UK, but if you've never seen inside of a caravan, that's what I'm on about. But yeah, that's the kind of like aesthetic that I wanted, and I wanted it to kind of look a bit grandma, a bit like old-fashioned. So I went with those like big drapes from Cats and Dogs, and then for the bathroom, it's just a shower and a toilet. I weren't able to fit a sink, so when your Sims use the toilet, they'll go to the kitchen and wash their hands there. And then I also put down a like breakfast bar island counter thingy for your Sims to sit and eat at. And I put the dining table on the roof of the boat, because there weren't really like anywhere else to put it. I first started off putting it on that like little deck thing that's outside, which I think makes more sense having it there. But I wanted to change, you'll see when we get to that bit, but I changed the layout of stuff. And yeah, I think that's about it for the interior. I think that's all I can really say about it. I did put a guitar down for your Sims to have something to do. I didn't put down a bookshelf. That's the one thing I didn't put down. What you can do though, because I don't think you'll be able to fit one, if you get the, you know, in base game there's those like books that everybody uses. It's basically got 3 swatches, it's a set of books. You can use those as a bookshelf, even though they're like a decorative item, they actually count as a bookshelf, if you didn't know. So you could probably find a place to put them down, maybe put them on a shelf or something like that. I'm trying to think where they could actually go. Maybe I'll put some down, maybe I'll put some books down so that you can actually like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll put those little books down, and then you don't have to worry about where to put them. And then moving on to the like second part of the exterior, I wanted to put some like boxes or some like stuff on the front of the boat. Obviously this isn't like a functional space that your Sims can use. I just wanted something like decorative, because I imagine that this boat is not going to be used for like an actual boat, like they're not going to be going anywhere. It's just like a houseboat now, it's just a stationary like thing, and I thought I'll just put some like little decorative like fishing tackle. I put some like crates on it and some like crawfish catcher things. I don't really know what they are, but yeah, this overall like build kind of reminds me of my granddad. My granddad were very into like fishing. My grandparents actually owned their own caravan that I'd go on holiday with them a lot, and that when I were a kid and everything. And where we'd go on holiday, there'd be a lot of like I think they were called trawler boats, and they were like fishing boats and stuff. Because where the caravan was, you'd like walk over this little like sand dune like hill thing, and then you'd walk down onto the beach, and where we'd walk onto the beach there'd be like loads of boats and stuff, and my granddad would always be like, I've been on one of them, I've been on one of them, I went fishing on one of them, and he'd be like pointing them out to me and like talking about them and stuff. And at the caravan, that's where he had all his like fishing decorative stuff, his little ornaments, and he used to wear a lot of like fishing t-shirts as well, and like fishing hats, and yeah, that were his hobby. That's what he liked to do. And yeah, just this sort of like aesthetic, it just reminds me of him. But yeah, I liked it for that reason. But yeah, I will say it was proper stressful, and it didn't help as well that this was like the last build, and I only started building it yesterday, even though I had the plan for it in my head for a while. Like I knew that I wanted to build a tiny houseboat. The actual like putting it together, I started it at like 10:30 in the morning or something like that, and it got to like 2 o'clock and I'd still not built anything. Like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd still not actually done anything, and I was getting so stressed out and like kind of getting overwhelmed as well, because I had to like put everything else on hold. So I was thinking about like the new pack and thinking about other things I wanted to build with that, and it was my brother's birthday, so I was like worrying about that, because I've not forgot about it, but the plan was to go and get him something yesterday, but I just didn't have time because I was like trying to focus on this build, and I thought I've got to get it up for like tomorrow, meaning today. And yeah, it was just, I don't know, just autism things, honestly. Like you just get in your own head about certain things and you want things to be done, but you can't tear yourself away from the task that you're doing because it's not finished. And it was just a whole thing, but it worked out in the end. We got it sorted. Potentially the video might be posted a bit late. I've been uploading videos at 3 o'clock every day. I don't normally have a usual time to post videos. I just post them when they're ready, and I usually post on Tuesdays and Fridays. But anyway, we are getting to end the video, and I quickly want to touch on the roof part of the boat. So I just put down a sitting area where your Sims can listen to music. It's just like a cool place to sit at night, I guess. And then I also put down a flower arranging table and a bee box, just because why not? Why not get stung by bees while you're trying to arrange a bouquet of flowers? And yeah, that's about it. I really hope that you liked this build. I liked how it turned out. It was stressful to put together, but I still enjoyed it. I still like the overall look of it. And thank you again to Cozy Builds on YouTube for posting a video where I got the inspiration for the shell from. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, feel free to leave a like on it, and as always, if you want to download this build, my gallery ID is HutchPlays. I really hope that you've enjoyed Tiny House Week. I've had a lot of fun with it. It's been fun. I'd like to do something like this again, maybe another week of like a certain type of build. Let me know if you've got any ideas for that. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Bye.